Hello everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to enhance password encoder, which is showing here deprecated, right? So generally in Spring Security, so without encoding the password, Spring Security will not allow user to log in. So even if you enter valid credentials, Spring Security will not allow you to log in because so without password encoder, if you try to log in your web application, Spring Security will not allow you to authenticate. So you must encode the passwords. You might have doubt, sir, here Sachin Tendulkar is static credentials where we have encoded. So we haven't encoded this one, but by using with the default password encoder, so internally once this statement is being executed, what will happen? So these credentials will be stored in in-memory user details manager. So the password which I have defined here, this will be encrypted internally and those credentials will be stored in-memory user details manager. So in real-time environment, whenever we are registering the user, so that user password must encrypt and then only we have to store in database. So Spring Security always allow you always allow encrypted password, otherwise it will not allow you to authenticate. So now here we are encoding this static password with the help of with the default password encoder. So now there is a another password encoder called bcrypt password encoder, which is introduced in latest Spring Security versions. Okay, so now let me delete this with the default password encoder method. So if you see here, it is already deprecated. See, this method with the default password encoder from the type user is deprecated. So we have to use latest bcrypt password encoder to encode our passwords, user passwords. Okay, so now I will remove this. So if you remove this password encoder, so what will happen? So this username method will not be available with in user class. So now there is a another method called with username. So this is the one we have to use. So remove this and use with username. I will show you what will happen if you don't use a default password encoder. Dot with username, that's it. Similarly delete this as well. All three static credentials we are going to encrypt with the latest password encoder. Okay, so now I'm just saving this file. So now what will happen? So now there is no password encoder, this is directly raw password. So internally it will not encrypt and store in memory user details manager. So what will happen? So Spring Security will not allow you to log into your web application without encoding the password. It is mandatory to encode the password in Spring Security. So now go to your web application. Now without encoding the password, we'll see what will happen. So let me log in. Let me localhost colon 8080. Now I will try with Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin and Sachin at 123 is the password. Now we'll see what will happen. Sachin, Sachin at 123. I have entered valid credentials. Let me clear the console and we'll see what kind of exception you are going to get. Click on sign in button. See, it is not showing any error message, but if you open the console, Eclipse console, now you can see there is a exception is thrown by Spring Security. There is no password encoder mapped for the ID. So the user ID which we have used to log in our web application, that user ID password is not encoded. So it is clearly showing in the console. So you can confirm that Spring Security will not allow without encoding the password. So you must encode the password to log into your web application. So now let me enhance that code with password encoder. So there is a bcrypt password encoder which is introduced in latest Spring Security version. So let me create that bin void. So as of now, let's define it as a void. So now you can create your own method. So password encoder, okay. So it will not have any arguments. So now this method, this bean must return with new bcrypt password encoder. You can see new bcrypt. This is latest password encoder in Spring Security, which is introduced in latest version of Spring Security. So now bcrypt, you can see new bcrypt, cry control space. If you type control space, it should show. So let me return it, so then only it will show. Return this method new bcrypt. Now we can see there is a bcrypt password encoder. Now you have to use this class, okay. So now this method must return bcrypt password encoder. That's it. So now we have to declare this as a bin. Why? Because why during the server startup we must declare a password encoder bin. So because during the runtime this bcrypt password encoder bin will be initialized. So how we have declared in memory details manager bin, so same way we have to declare password encoder bin as well. So now at the rate bin, that's it. So organize the code properly, control A, control shift F. So that's it. Now we have a password encoder, bcrypt password encoder. Now we have to use this method to encode this static password. Now let me copy this method and use it here. No, not this one, password encoder. Control C, and then we can use it. Password encoder method dot. So this password bcrypt password encoder method will have, there is a encode method. So we have to use this encode method. That's it. So now you can try. Now you can see, go to insert the bcrypt password encoder. So it will have control O, press control O, and you can see all available methods. So there is a encode method available, control O and type encode. See, there is a encode method available in bcrypt password encoder class. So now we are going to use this encode method to encode our password, okay. So now go to our configuration class. So now similarly, so let me try to log in Sachin Tendulkar. Now whether Sachin Tendulkar is able to log in or not, clear the console. Now Sachin password is encoded with bcrypt password encoder. So we have written one custom method, and this method is returning bcrypt password encoder, and we have declared it as a bin. This bcrypt password encoder should be initialized during the runtime. So now this bcrypt password encoder is having encode method. With the help of encode method, we are encoding the password. So now let me try to log in with Sachin Tendulkar. So refresh the browser URL. So now Sachin and Sachin at 123. Now login. Click on sign in button. See, we are able to successfully log in. So since Sachin Tendulkar password is encoded, we are able to log in. Let's try Rohit Sharma. Rohit and Rohit at 123 is the password. So Rohit password is not encoded, so we cannot log in. Let me try now. So first, before that, we need to log out. So log out, Spring Security by default provide logout feature, right? So logout URL and then click on logout button. So now I will try with Rohit and Rohit at 123. click on sign in button. See, it is saying bad credentials. And if you open the since bcrypt password encoder bean is defined, so now you can see in the console it is saying encode password does not look like bcrypted. So encode password does not like bcrypt. So it is clearly saying earlier it is not showing, right? So the moment we declared password encoder bean in our custom security configuration, so now it is clearly showing, so encoded password does not look like bcrypt. What is that meaning? So the password which we have tried for Rohit user ID, so this password is not bcrypted. It is clearly showing bcrypt, right? So now we have to encode Rohit password as well. So just copy same method, password encoder which we have created by bcrypt password encoder. Okay, so now dot encode. Similarly you can use for virat credential also. Very easy, guys. You have to go step by step. Spring security is very easy, so you have to learn step by step so that you can understand very easily. In later point of time in coming lectures I will fetch the credentials from database. So dynamically we are going to fetch the credentials in coming lectures. So now by this time you might have get an idea so how to get the credentials from database. Okay, so you can just need to fetch the credentials from jpa repository, and those credentials you have to pass as part of user details. Very easy, guys. There are different ways are there, I will explain you in coming lectures. So now all the passwords are encoded with the help of bcrypt password encoder. So now let me go to the web browser and I will try to log in Rohit and Virat as well. Rohit and Rohit 8123 is the password. Let me refresh the browser, and now let me refresh the URL. That's it. So now I will try Rohit now. Rohit and Rohit at 123. Click on sign in button. So now Rohit also able to log in. So similarly Virat also can log in. So without encoding the password in Spring Security, we cannot log into our web application. It is mandatory to encrypt the password in Spring Security. Very easy. There are different types of algorithms also there. We can encode password. So I will show you in coming lectures. So you have to practice every day, guys. If you don't practice, you cannot learn. Okay, so who are all watching newly, you can subscribe Java Cafeteria channel in YouTube, and you can learn Spring Boot very easily on all major important concepts which are needed for the developer. I am teaching in this YouTube channel so that developer life will become very easily. Okay, thank you, guys. I will catch you in next lecture. Guys, I wanted to tell you one more thing. So many people are watching the videos and putting the comments also, but uh, if you like the video, if you not like the video, if you understand the concept, please make sure you are liking the video also, so that will give more other people to subscribe the channel. Okay, so please like the video. Okay, if you understand the concept, please like the videos. I am requesting, guys. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I will catch you in next lecture.